The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. That quote is by Edmund Burke. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Sovereign Goat Man, unedited, uncut, and straight from the heart. I'm going to share with you a story when I was a kid growing up in the Philippines. My father, he was a scout ranger in the Philippine Army. He was an officer. He was a retired full bird colonel when we immigrated to the US. When I was growing up, he would always look at me straight in the eyes with his Philippine Eagle stern look, and he would say, "Hoy nako, pagka may umaapi sa inyo, idepende mong sarili mo, wag kang uuwi sa akin na umiiyak dahil dadagdagan ko ang bugbog mo." So, translated into English, he always said to me, if anybody ever picks on you, defend yourself. Unleash the can of whoop ass. Don't ever come home to me crying like a little bitch because I am going to whoop your ass twice as much. He hated the thought of, or the idea of me getting picked on because he came from a warrior class, as did his forefathers. He wanted me to grow up to be a warrior. If you fast forward that, or if you imagine that scenario in present day America, if an American dad ever said that to his son, the liberal left would be, call children's services because this father is teaching his son how to be violent. And you know that's nonsense. For those of you who know me in real life, you know that I'm not a violent person. But I am capable of violence because I grew up in an environment, having joined the military, coming from a warrior class. I embraced that warrior ethos. Unfortunately, in our standards, everything else, just like everything else that the left has touched, the term warrior has been watered down. Right now, everybody's a warrior. You know, you see somebody playing sports, playing football, you turn on CNN and the announcer be all, "Hey, look at that warrior. He made a touchdown. He's a warrior. Yeah." You know that's not right. That's inaccurate. That's not even bullshit. That's goat shit. To me, a warrior is somebody who has dedicated their lives to the art of learning how to kill people and maim people, kill people or maim them, especially those who threaten you, your loved ones, or your way of life. That's a warrior, somebody that's dedicated to that craft. And from a Christian standpoint, and I'm not going to apologize for my Christian beliefs, from a Christian standpoint, being a warrior also means that you always do the right thing in the eyes of God. You always do the honorable thing in the name of Jesus. Because there's a spiritual warfare going on, and you know that. If you don't believe me, just look at what's going on in our country. I don't have anything against whatever adults do, consenting adults do behind closed doors, but you are aware of the fact that the oligarchs are using the LGBTQ community as a platform to wussify our boys, and you know that. You're well aware of this. You know that trans are being invited to attend public schools so they can read to children, to little kids, because this is how they, criminals in suit, weaken men. Warriors, real men, are necessary, not just for the preservation of Western civilization, but it's also necessary in the eyes of God. Nothing is new under the sun. In the book of Daniel, for example, or not, you know what, I forget what book it was. The prophet Daniel, I should say. The Babylonians, for example, they castrated the prophet Daniel because even back then they knew that real men would rise up against tyranny. Again, there's nothing new under the sun. And look at what's going on with our boys. They're being conditioned to grow up to be women, females, and that's just wrong. That's satanic. So today's lesson, fathers and mothers of America, make sure that you raise your boys to be men. Earning the title men, that is something that has to be earned. Just because a little boy has a penis, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to grow up to be a man. That boy still has to earn it. So it's really up to us as parents to raise our boys to be good men, to carry on that warrior class, that warrior spirit. Because again, Western civilization depends on it. Another story I wanted to share from a Christian standpoint is in the book of Ezekiel. There's a passage that it's really a favorite of mine. I think it's Ezekiel 22 or 20, something like that. And it goes something like this: I sought for a man, so that I will not destroy it, but I found none. In other words, there was a time when, in biblical time, when God was looking for a good man in this area in biblical times, and he was looking for a good man to do the right thing, and God found none. So he sent them to Snap City, and they're gone. So it's the same what's going on here. We have to not only do what's right for mankind, but also what's right for God. And with that, the Sovereign Goat Man is out.